Welcome to the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is, here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Sales Talk with Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Before we get started, I want to let you know how to reach out to me, and that's at email 10minutessalestalk@hot.rr.com. The number 10minutessalestalk@hot.rr.com. Or you can find me on Facebook or Terry Cameron on LinkedIn or the 10minutessalestalk.com website. The other thing I'd like to ask you to do is hop on over to iTunes. Give me those 5 stars and please write a few reviews. It just is going to help me grow along with you. So let's get started. The last few weeks we've talked about the sales process. About greeting the customer, building rapport, and investigating and doing a hell of a presentation and demonstration. So when that's over with, you need to pat yourself on the back. You just sold a car and made some money. But let's move on to the very next thing that salespeople ask me very early in their careers. And that's, how do I get my customers? Where do they come from? First of all, you need to start with your friends and family members. All your contacts that are on your cell phone right now. Whether you talked to them yesterday or 3 or 4 years ago, you just need to give them a call. Now, don't call them and ask them to buy a car. I just want you to call them and tell them what you do for a living and where you do it at. That's all you need to do, and they'll be more than happy to send customers to you. But the Glengarry leads are referrals. Nothing is more powerful than a personal referral from a current client. And the quickest and easiest way to start earning professional wages is through referrals. Statistics say that 30% of everybody you know has a family member that's going to be buying a car in the next 90 days. And if you add their friends to that equation, it's almost 50% of the people you know have a friend or family member that's going to be purchasing a vehicle in the next 90 days. They may not know it. Heck, even the person purchasing the car in the next 90 days may not know it. But something's going to happen, and they're going to need a car. And if your name is the first one that comes to mind when one of your friends or family members are talking about it, you get the sale. So they're the easy ones. You just have to stay in front, keep your name in front of all your friends and family members. You know, you really only have to do this once every 3 or 4 months. A quick phone call, quick email, just to say hi and keep your name in front of them. So how do you guarantee referrals? It's really simple. You may want to get your calculator out, or at least take some notes and use your own numbers after this episode is over. Pay attention. Let's say you're an average salesperson, you're selling 10 cars a month. You would normally have to have anywhere from 15 to 17 customers agree to purchase a car from you to sell 10 cars a month. You know, the percentage that doesn't purchase a car, it's because credit or payments were too high or something that was beyond your control. So that means you're filling out 17 credit applications a month to sell 10 cars. And I mean, you fill out the credit application, not your customers. And if you can get 4 referrals from each one of those customers, and you filled out 15 credit applications, that's 60 referrals each month, or 720 referrals in a year. Now you have to remember though, this part right here, that referrals, when they show up, they're a 50 to 70% close. That means if 10 of them show up one month, you're going to sell 5 to 7 of them, guaranteed. The more referrals, the more sales. And I'm not saying give up on taking an up off on the lot every once in a while, but wouldn't it be nice to come in to work every day and work strictly by appointment? You can do it. So let's look at how this happens. You've met a customer on the lot. You greeted them. You brought down their defenses. You built a rapport and investigated their wants and needs. You did a heck of a presentation and demonstration. They decided they wanted to purchase the car from you. And now you're sitting down at the closing table. They've agreed to purchase the car from you, which means they probably like you by now. So as you're filling out the credit application, and it's probably on every credit application, if not, there's other ways to do this, but on each application, there's an area on there that asks for references. What I do at my dealership is I just copied a reference sheet to the back of each one of our credit applications for our salespeople to use. As you're filling out the credit applications and you come to the reference part, you should have a conversation that goes something like this. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, most of our banks require 5 local references. Now I say local because we do business in a military town and we don't want references from across the country. We want the ones that are right here that we can sell cars to. So again, most of our banks require 5 local references, and those references would be, and as they tell you the references, all you really need is their name, their phone number, and their relationship to the customer. Now think about this. They like you at this point in time, and they're more than happy to give you the references because they believe that's part of the process. Now, after you get these references and you've completed the paperwork and you're getting ready to head back to the finance office or the sales manager to take your application, you stop and you look at the customer and you ask them, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, these references that you have listed here, would it be okay if I gave them a call? Now, if you left it just like that, chances are they're going to say, no, don't do that. How about if you just give me some cards and I'll pass them out for you? But if you ask them like this, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, the references you listed here, do you think it'd be okay if I gave them a call? Not to sell them a car or anything, but just to introduce myself, so if they ever do need any help in their purchase of a car or any kind of research in that area, they have a friend in the car business. Would that be okay? Remember, they like you. They'll give you the okay. And then just finish it off by saying, and do you mind if I tell them that you mentioned them? Now here's the key. You have to follow up with these people. You can't just get the referral's name and phone number and then leave it. What you do next, whether the customer purchases the car or not, remember, they like you. You've gotten this far with them. They trust you. You're going to call these references the very next day, and you're just going to let them know that, hey, I've been working with a friend of yours, and they gave me your name, and they thought it'd be okay if I gave you a call, and I'm not calling you to sell a car. I just want to call and let you know you have a friend in the car business. And if there's anything that I could do in the future, just let me know. And if you don't mind, would it be okay if I got your email address so I can shoot you over all my contact information? Now, they may back off a little bit there with the email, but if you come back with something like, look, I promise I'm not going to blow up your email. You may hear from me 3 or 4 times in a year. That's it. So your email is the very next day, you're going to email them. Day after, you're making a phone call. The next day, you're going to send them an email. And in that email is just going to be something really simple. It was really nice talking to you on the phone yesterday. What you'll find here is my contact information. If there's anything I can do, if you need anything, just let me know. And then you could also add a PS, how much you pay for referral fees, any kind of special events that are going on at the dealership. And then after you send that email, you're going to set the next activity in your CRM for another phone call or email 3 to 4 months down the road. Now make sure you kept notes so when you do call them again or email them again, you know what you talked to them about last time. This is really, really important. One thing that's going to happen when you do call these references that you've turned into a referral, a conversation is going to get started. They're going to start asking questions about cars. They've opened up the door now for you to go ahead and put your selling shoes on. Remember, you're not selling cars on the phone, you're selling appointments. And if you get them to show up at the lot, you've got a 50 to 70% chance of closing them. This is when the car business gets fun. That's all you have to do. That's 720 referrals in a year. And remember, those 720 people have a friend or family member, or 30% of them has a friend or family member buying a car in the next 90 days. And if your name is the one that comes to mind, you're going to get most of them. Think about that. 720 referrals in a year. If you divide that by 12, that's 60 referrals a month. And if you can close just 10% of them, that's 6 sales a month, not including the 10 that you were going to make anyway. Your business is going to grow, and your referrals and your contact lists are going to grow exponentially. Think about this. If you can do this consistently every day for 6 months, ask for the referrals, email the referrals, call the referrals every day for 6 months, I guarantee you won't have to wait for ups anymore. You'll come to work. You'll come to work with appointments already scheduled, and you'll be making professional wages. So again, you're filling out the credit application. You're going to ask them or tell them that the bank requires 4 to 5 local references. Then you're going to ask them if it's okay if you call those references. Not to sell them a car, but just introduce yourself. Then you're going to call those references the next day, introduce yourself, get their email, and then follow up with an email the next day. Let them know it was nice talking to them on the phone and providing your contact information. Guys, this is really a piece of cake. You just have to do it every day. One more thing I'd like to ask you guys to do one more time, and that's to hop on over to iTunes. Share the podcast with a friend. I think we're going to get better, and I hope I'm going to get better. And if I can get better along with you, we both win. So, until next week, remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you then.